Hi everyone, and welcome to the very first video of this C++ tutorial series. In this video, we are going to set up C++ on Windows, write our very first program, and understand how compilation actually works. By the end, you'll have C++ running on your computer, and you'll know exactly how simple Hello World programs really are. Before we dive in, let's quickly talk about why you should learn C++. C++ is one of the fastest languages out there, and it runs natively on your system without any virtual machine in between. It gives you direct control over hardware and memory, which is why it's used in game development, real-time systems, operating systems, and even things like compilers. Big companies like Microsoft, Adobe, Unreal Engine, and even NASA projects still use C++. And most importantly, learning C++ builds a really strong foundation. Once you understand C++, other languages like Python, Java, or C# will feel a lot easier. Now to run C++ on Windows, we need a compiler. We'll be using MinGW, which stands for Minimalist GNU for Windows. MinGW is a free and open source software, and it gives us all the essential tools, which are headers, libraries, and the compiler we need to build and run C++ programs on Windows. Basically, it acts as the bridge between your C++ code and your computer's processor. Now, let's see how to install MinGW on your Windows computer. To install MinGW, we'll go to this website right here, which I'll link in the description of the video. This is the official VS Code website docs page, and here we'll scroll down to installing the MinGW 64 toolchain, and we'll click on direct link to the installer. Once we click on the direct link, it will install the exe file to install MinGW. Just run that file and wait for it to install. After that, you should be able to click on the Windows button and search for MinGW and run it. Once you have MinGW open, you will need to run a command to download the actual compiler for C++. And we'll press enter, and hopefully this starts. Okay, now here we can see that it is skipping everything. Now this is because I have already downloaded the compiler on my computer, so it will skip everything. Once you run this command here, which don't worry, I will put it in the description. After you run it, it will start the installation process for the compiler, and all you have to do is press yes and enter whenever it asks for any prompts. After the download is done, you'll be able to run C++ code. Now we'll head over to the environment variable window, where you'll need to set the compiler to your environment variables. You click on environment variables, click on path, edit, and here you'll want to click on new, then browse, and then you'll want to go to where you have downloaded, and it's usually under your C drive M64. You want to scroll down to UCRT64 and bin. Click on OK and again OK, and then you'll be ready to use it. Now, how do you know whether you'll be able to use the compiler? You want to open the command prompt and type G++. If it gives an output like this, that means you have successfully downloaded and set up your compiler. I have my code editor open. I'm using Visual Studio Code, and really you can use anything you want. So we'll start by writing our first line, hash include stdio.h. Now, what is this hash include stdio.h? This is called a preprocessor directive. It tells the compiler to include the standard input-output header file. Without this, we can't use functions like printf to display the text. Next, we'll define and create our function int main and put our curly braces. Now here, int is the return type of the main function. And what is the main function? In C++, the main function is the entry point of your code. This is where your code execution starts. And these curly braces, they define the scope of the code, means in which part of your file the code will run. So we'll begin by printing using printf hello world, and don't forget to use a semicolon because C++ requires a semicolon at the end of every line of code that you write. Now, what is printf? Printf is a function that belongs to the stdio.h header file or library, and right now in our case it's taking in a string as a parameter. Now what it's going to do is that it's going to display these string parameter into the console when we run our code. We'll save the file and we'll open up our terminal and we'll change our directory to the current directory that we're in, that our code file is in, and we'll write the following command to compile our C++ code. It goes like g++, you want to put in your file name, which is hello world.cpp. This is optional, but I like to keep the name of the compiled file related to our actual file. So we'll go with the -o and we'll name it, let's say, hw.exe. So we'll wait for G++ to compile our code, and we can see that it has created an hw.exe file, which is an executable file. Now we'll run our executable file using /. Oh wait, I almost forgot. We need to put in /n after our line, or else it will look weird, and we'll recompile it. Now we'll run our code using /hw.exe and hit enter. And there we go. We have written our first program of hello world. And now that we have written the program, we have compiled it, and congratulations, you have written your first C++ code and run it. So in this video we have set up C++, we have compiled it, we have written the code, and then we have compiled it. And in the next video we'll talk about variables, data types, and how to take input from users. If you're excited to learn more, hit like, subscribe, and let's keep going into C++. Thank you.